Gator is out today. Stoney is in.
What up, Doug?
I got to tell you, you look disheveled.
I always look disheveled.
No, you look more disheveled than normal.
Oh, why? Because I'm wearing my Seattle Supersonics hat?
Yeah, but it's almost like falling off.
Well,
and
my headphones
headphones
are not exactly.
You've got broken headphones that are
Yes.
taped together. You've
Yeah,
got the hat that's
whatever.
falling off the head.
Hey, I'm a homeless person,
Yeah. I mean, you kind of have that look.
Yes. By the way, I forgot to ask you this, not to throw any shade at your boys, but how's my favorite Karsch child doing?
She's doing great. My daughter thinks Stoney is the absolute best. She just loves Stoney, and she's doing very well. She moved home Sunday, so we've got her at home here for a couple of weeks.
Oh, good.
And getting her readjusted to things like bringing your trash in from the car.
Yes.
And no, do not leave that half-finished Coca-Cola can in the middle of the living room. There was a towel, a haphazard towel.
Yes.
And so there's some adjustments.
I get it.
Yep. But it's good to have her home.
It's funny. My wife and kids have to deal with that, ask those questions about me.
You're the problem?
I'm the problem.
Yeah,
Yes.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yes, indeed.
So we'll talk with Jared Goff today at 10:30. Get into what went wrong against the Rams, how they can get the run game going, what he has to say to people that don't believe this team can put it together and make a run. All that at 10:30 here on 97.1. What a Piston win last night, huh?
Wow. There was a time during the game where, all right, I saw this movie before the last time they played in Boston where Derek White gets hot and, Jaylen Brown is unstoppable. But, man, the depth that the Pistons showed last night, I mean, I'm disheveled because I left my notes by the desk, but I believe the bench outscored Boston's like 47-14.
They had 47 points off the bench. I don't know what Boston's was.
Yes. And
look it up.
And they out-rebounded them, too, by a great amount off the bench. And guys were making, contributions. Javonte Green with a three and a thunderous dunk in, was it Brown's face or White's face? I forget which one.
Javonte Green has gone from a guy that I had no idea why he was on this roster.
Not one of my favorites, I got to say, but he played
games,
good last night.
I have a very important critical metric that I rely on quite a bit. It's called in games I've watched.
Oh, yes.
And in games I watched early in the year.
IGIW. How's his?
Yeah. In games I watched early this year, I was like, Javonte Green is terrible. I have to admit, in games I've watched recently, he's making some plays. He did have that three and that steal and thunderous dunk was awesome. It was awesome. And the Pistons, look, when you're playing the Celtics, you know what you're going to get. Mm-hmm. High volume, 3-point shooting. And that's what they do. They just launch from three over and over and over again. And last night, they went 1 of 18 in the second and third quarter.
Yeah, the Pistons got sucked into it early like they always do because, with the exception of Duncan Robinson, the Pistons are not a great 3-point shooting team, although Cade had 6 yesterday, which is not the norm. And I don't like when they shoot a high volume of threes, meaning the Pistons.
It's not their game.
It's not their game, exactly. And the Celtics have this way of the leprechaun in that building seducing you to do a lot of things, especially taking threes. And that's what happened early in the game.
I feel like this is something that takes you back to your childhood.
Well, the leprechaun does, but that's not the threes.
So Boston is third in the NBA in 3-point field goal attempts, 43.3 per game, and Detroit is third from the bottom at 31.7. It's funny because the Piston teams that have won NBA championships in our lifetime have done it unconventionally.
Oh, yeah.
The Bad Boys, a very physical brand of basketball it felt like the league really rejected. The going to work Pistons were defense, spread it around. They were lack of a superstar kind of way. It was against the grain. It was unconventional. And if this team does it, it's going to be unconventional because they just don't rely on the three-pointer in an era where the three-point shot is emphasized. But the other thing last night, and it's something that I love about him, and hey, look, I get that there's some people out there that don't love NBA basketball. They like it the way it was. Again, this Detroit team's a bit of a throwback. Their effort on the defensive end I don't care what Jaden Ivey's offensive stat line said. Watching Jaden Ivey's effort and get into you defensively, I mean, it's almost like they're playing a college brand of basketball.
Yeah, and it's going to be dependent. Unfortunately, the success that they're going to have or lack thereof in the playoffs, I think it's going to be dependent on how the games are going to be officiated. Because the Pistons are going to be the most physical team out there most nights. And if they get into foul, even though they have a lot of depth, they can't afford to get in a lot of foul trouble. Well, last night, they got away with it. Cade got 5 fouls, with about, 9 minutes left in the game. It was his fifth, and they had to take him out for a little bit. But
I think they went on a 7-1 run as soon as he came out of the game, which was awesome. But they're 21-5. They have the best record in the East, up 2.5 games on the Knicks. Now, Boston still doesn't have Tatum back. He'll be back in January or February.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I was reading some stuff on his. They're shooting for January. If I were them, I wouldn't push it at all.
No.
But we're not them.
Correct.
and we don't have that guy. And then the other thing is just as you look at the big picture, you zoom out and look at the big picture, I wonder, as time goes by, do they need to make a big trade deadline move?
I do think because in the era that we live in today, they do need somebody who can shoot threes better than anybody they have, with the exception of Duncan Robinson.
So you don't think what they're doing now can win you an NBA?
An NBA championship?
Yeah.
No, but then again, I don't think anybody's going to beat Oklahoma City, so you could say that about every team in the league. But
is getting a guy that shoots threes going to make you beat the Oklahoma City?
No, but
then why even do it?
Well, I can get him in the finals, I think.
Which is worth it. I mean, I think that's something you have to be realistic about your goals,
right,
and you have to be realistic about your own roster, and you have to be realistic about what's going on given the injuries in Boston and Indiana.
Right. Look, if they can somehow, and I'm not talking about marketing, I think is a reach. I think they'd have to give up too much to get him. I don't want anything to do with Anthony Davis. But Trey Murphy's the name out there who can shoot from three. He plays with New Orleans, and you might have to give up an Ivy and Holland or a Soar. And I would give up, for Trey Murphy, I'd give up Ivy and
I don't want to give up Ivy. I think I'm going to be an Ivy guy. The more I watch, the more I'm okay with the fact that he isn't always scoring the way he did. I think we're talking about reintroducing him to the game. I'm becoming an Ivy guy. If I had to part with somebody, all right, and I don't want to part with Asar Thompson. The only one I'd probably part with is Holland, and maybe that's an easy answer, but
I mean, like Asar Thompson was very frustrating last night because he was getting the ball in a few different possessions late in the shot clock, and he's not the guy you want the ball with late in the shot clock. And he's going through this thing right now. I mean, free throws last night, I think he was like, 2 for 8 or something. He didn't even look like he was close at the free throw line. He's such a great defender, but crunch time, I don't want him with the ball. And I don't think, you play him and Holland. If you have both of them, offense, defense, you can make some substitutions because they're both not offensive players. But I think in today's NBA, you need somebody. Can you imagine how good Cade would be if he even is better than he is right now, if they had another person who could stretch the floor a little bit and give him even more spacing? Wow.
Well, yeah. I mean, does that person take some shots away from Cade, which is fine. I mean, we're not here in the business of running up Cade's points per game. We're in the business of trying to win games. But, I mean, Cade is so money. He's so money. And he's another classic example, by the way, that if somebody doesn't impress you by halftime of their first game, he's not a bust. You can't come. I mean, there's so many calls about Cade being a bust early in his career. And again, last night, you go to the fourth quarter, and what did he do in the fourth quarter? Derek White got all the attention. He had 14 points, went 3 of 6 from 3 in the fourth. Cade made a bunch of buckets down the stretch to counter and led the Pistons with 9 points. And I don't know if he still leaves the NBA in fourth quarter scoring, but he did for a long time.
Yeah, and he had 10 assists again.
Yep. 248-539-9797. I will tell you that the Pistons made a strong run at Champ of the Weekend, Champ and Chump, posted on our website. You can check it out at 971theticket.com, who the people selected as Champ and Chump of the Weekend. If you want to talk some Pistons, love to hear from you. Of course, we do have open lines. And Jared Goff joins us at 10:30. A little bit later on, Ian Eagle said something on the Peacock broadcast last night, and I want to know if you think it's true. We'll play that for you today at 11:05. Later in the show, it'll be the best of what Dan Campbell told our morning show. It is Karsch and Anderson, Stoney in for Anderson, here on 97.1.